Good morning, Momos. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous day here in the KY. And so I'm sitting here in my little rocking chair, just enjoying it so much. I'm really taking things slow this morning, which is not like great because I have a lot to do, but here we are, pregnancy has seemed to just really slow me down. In today's video, we're gonna talk about the first trimester because guess what, you guys? I'm in the second trimester now, which is literally mind-blowing. So anywho, I figured it'd be a fun time to talk about my first trimester experience. You guys asked me a lot of questions on Instagram about my first trimester, so I'll try to answer some of those as well as just sharing my own thoughts on it. But first I'm gonna go take a shower and freshen up. So I'll be right back. Yeah. And I'm back. I'll give you guys a little bump date very soon because I'm wearing like a bodycon dress or whatever with this little like sweater over it, and it is really making my little bump pop, so that's fun. Alright, first trimester thoughts. The good, the bad, the ugly, the weird. Let's go. I feel like I've watched other videos like this and they're so organized and like have notes and everything. I don't have any of that, so I apologize. But hopefully my editing skills will make it look like I was so organized. But first I'll start off with some of your all's questions that you asked me. So let's get to it. How well were you able to function with nausea? Was it even that bad? And then like I just had a lot of other questions about nausea. What did you do for morning / all day sickness? Man, it was really that bad. I feel like for 2.5 months I basically just laid on the couch or laid in the bed. Like I did not do very much, and I am praising God that we do YouTube and like I'm able to just like be at home and work and on my phone and laptop and rest, but I feel like I did very little work. Like I just kind of showed up to our live videos if I could, and I think, did I ever miss a live because of my nausea?
Maybe not.
I don't think that I did.
We maybe like canceled one or pushed it back a day or something.
Yeah, there was 1 week where we didn't go live at all because I had COVID and I was nauseous and it was just not going to be a thing. So we either pushed it back several days or just didn't go live that week. But yeah, it's real. It's indescribable and there's nothing that can prepare you for it. I'm not going to lie. Like it'll just happen. And for me, I never threw up. I just was so like, just nauseous. I drank a lot of ginger lemon tea. Paul was making that for me like sometimes twice a day, 3 times a day. I was taking baths with Epsom salts. I got these ginger chews. I'll pop them up here. Those were really helpful. And like ginger just became my best friend, which I was not that big of a fan of ginger beforehand. So yeah, I did those like preggy pop drops and they did help. Yeah, I mean, there were little things that definitely gave some relief, but it never fully got rid of it. So you just gotta push through, understand that this is only for a season, hopefully, unless you're one of the rare people that gets, I can't remember what it's called, start like something like that, where you literally are throwing up like your entire pregnancy. I had a friend that had that. It was horrendous to like witness her go through that. It was really sad. She was like hooked up to an IV for her entire pregnancy. Sorry if the lighting keeps changing like a ton. I'm sitting in front of my window because it's just so nice out, but like there are some clouds and it keeps just changing it all up. You guys probably don't care, but I do. So if you're struggling with morning sickness, whether you're throwing up or just struggling with nausea, it all is terrible, and I'm sorry, but just hang in there, push through. It will be over before you know it. Like, I just remember waking up, I was about 11 weeks or right at 11 weeks, and I was like, wait, I don't feel nauseous right now. Is this gone forever? Is it gonna come back? And it pretty much was gone after that. I think a few days later I struggled with nausea minorly, but really, like, I haven't struggled with it at all since then. I've had maybe like one or two other moments where it was like, I don't feel great, but nothing compared to what it had been. So hang in there, you're gonna be okay. Yeah! Oh my Eva.
Sorry.
Next question. How do you have the tenacity and vitality to work out? LOL, I'm so tired. Girl, I get it. I took a break from working out, like almost 2 months. It was a long break. I think I tried to go in like once or twice during that time of struggle because I heard like working out helps nausea. No, I could not. I went in there one time and there was no one in the room that I was in, and there was like this workout bench, and I just like laid there on the bench and was like, I have to go home. So don't like compare to where you're at and where I'm at now. Like, now I'm in a place where I actually am desiring to work out. I'm having really good workouts. I'm really thankful for that. But it definitely took me time to get there. Oh, and as far as working out goes, someone else asked, are you doing anything differently? So my midwife, I kind of told her what I do, and she was like, yeah, you don't need to change anything up right now. And she's like, honestly, your body will tell you when you need to change things up. But if you're feeling good in the workouts that you're doing, there's really nothing you need to change. A lot of people asked if I had had any strange cravings or things like that. And really, I didn't. I haven't. And I don't know if they'll maybe come later, but like there were times where there were things that just tasted really good to me and way better than anything else. For the first like 2 months, I feel like all I ate were carbs, and I felt so guilty because I was like, I'm not getting any nutrients. And my midwife was like, just eat what you can and you'll be okay. Yeah, so it just took that pressure off of me and was just like, okay, I'm just gonna eat what sounds good right now, because not very much did. I was eating a lot of mac and cheese, Cheetos, Sun Chips, bagels. I didn't like vegetables, did not sound good, but fruit was still pretty good to me. But now I'm at the place where like it all sounds good again. I really could not eat like meat in the first 2 months. I was just like, oh, terrible. So don't stress out too much if you're in that stage. Okay, something weird that happened to me, and I wish I had taken pictures of it. And it's still kind of happening, but in the first 2.5 months, I would like wake up with a very flat stomach, like did not have a bump at all. And then by the end of the night, my stomach had like tripled in size. I was watching Jess Conti's video about her first trimester, and she actually showed pictures. And I was like, that's exactly what mine looked like. It was so crazy because anything I ate, drank, like just bloated me so bad. So it was like, this is not a baby bump. This is just me insanely bloated. But now I actually have a bump. I woke up a few days ago and I looked in the mirror after getting out of bed and was like, whoa, I have like a legitimate little bump. And I like showed Paul and he was like, yeah, that's, wow. And it hasn't gone away. So, but I have noticed that by the end of the night, the bump is a little bigger than it is in the morning, because I still am just getting very bloated by things no matter what I eat. So that's a little annoying, but I'm just like, it's all the baby, it's not me. But I'll show you my bump. Alright, here I am forward. This is me not sucking in or anything. So I got a little bump. Ah, it's so cute. Polly, I have a question for you.
What's up?
What is the biggest symptom you noticed?
Biggest symptom I noticed that Morgan was dealing with? Grouchiness.
What?
Just kidding.
Thus far, I would say easily a nausea, morning sickness that has lasted longer than I thought it would. It was really sad for me to witness Morgan struggling with it all day. But fortunately, that seems to be something that really ended with the first trimester.
Mm-hmm. And he took very good care of me.
I was always like, Morgan, have you taken a bite of ginger? And she's like, no, I didn't think about that. Morgan, that's been helping.
You can't process things. You don't think about anything except for the pain that you're in.
Morgan, have you had some of your tea? Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, it's been helping for weeks and weeks and weeks. No, I mean, that kind of did happen, but you're right. Like, it's tough. It's tough to keep up with everything.
I didn't have too many, and I'm sure maybe it'll happen as we go further and my hormones get just more intense, but I haven't really had any major, emotional breakdowns.
No, that has not been bad.
Yeah, I kind of expected that to really happen in my first trimester, for me to, cry over nothing or just get super... I just remember, I think, 1 or 2 times where I kind of got,
No, it's been how many months now without you having your period?
Now that is nice. I'll take all of this. Most annoying remarks from people regarding your pregnancy.
Uh-oh, here we go. The claws are about to come out.
I guess this technically isn't a first trimester thing, but in my first trimester thus far, no, I'd say the most annoying / frustrating thing to me is when people I say something like, I slept really well last night, and they're like, well, don't get used to it. Or I say I had such a great day alone, and they're like, well, that's not gonna last long. Just get really negative. Or I say I'm so excited to take my baby out with me, and they're like, oh, you won't be leaving the house for at least a year. And I'm just and this is coming from either people I'm close to or total strangers, and I'm like, how is this encouraging, edifying? How does this make anyone excited to have a child? We should always be saying encouraging things. There are times to say things to help prepare me for the reality of, yeah, the struggles raising a child. But I think it's just people so often jump to the negatives, and it's and they want to pour that on me, and I'm like, ew, no, go away. I was struggling with nausea really soon, early on in my pregnancy. At 5 weeks, I was struggling pretty stinking bad, to the point I was in the bed a lot, and someone close to me was like, oh, that's nothing, it's gonna get way worse, you haven't even dealt with nausea. And I'm like, you have literally no idea what I have or haven't dealt with. You haven't been with me all day and seen the pain that I've been in and how much Paula's had to take care of me. So those are probably the most annoying remarks.
And that person kind of turned out to be wrong.
Yeah, they did.
So they were acting like the weeks to come, later in the first trimester, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. You hit the worst of it mid-first trimester.
Yeah, that person was wrong. It all hit me really early on, and then by 10.5 weeks, I was coming out of it, and I was wow, this is amazing. So I want to talk a little bit about fears in the first trimester. I didn't have a lot of fears. I just kind of decided that, we were going to share very early on that I was pregnant with you guys, and I knew the reality of like, usually people wait until 12 weeks because you hit that kind of safe mark, the safe zone or whatever. But I just decided like, no, we're gonna share early on, and I'm just going to trust the Lord. And if something does happen, if I do miscarry, or we find something out about the baby's health, like, we'll face it then. But I'm not going to allow myself to become anxious and fearful for my entire pregnancy, because you can do that through your entire pregnancy. You hit the safe zone and then you start having like cramps and you're like, what's wrong with me? Oh my goodness, I need to go have my baby checked. And like, I understand women who have had miscarriages, you're probably more on that side because you've gone through something very traumatic and lost your baby. And so I totally get that. But I do think there's still always a place to just be like, Lord, like, you're good no matter what, and I'm going to live that out, no matter what happens. Live it out like I truly believe that you're good no matter what comes my way. But all that to say, we didn't see the heartbeat the first time we went for a ultrasound, and it didn't really scare me, but it was kind of like, ugh. I mean, what if we go next week and like we still can't see it? Do we come back another week? Like, what do we do? Well, we came back the next week and we saw the heartbeat, and it was beautiful. And then like, I didn't hear the heartbeat the first time we tried that out at, I think I was 10 weeks. And then came back 2 weeks later and did hear the heartbeat. But I will say that like, leading up to going the second time to hopefully hear the heartbeat, I was like, okay, God, I'm a little scared, and that's okay. But I just trust that you're in control, and whatever happens is gonna happen. And yeah, and then we heard the heartbeat. And so, I don't know, it's also not good to stress during your pregnancy. So if I can help myself, I'm just not going to allow myself to stress over certain things like the baby's health and things like that. Like, I just give those things to the Lord, because I really can't do anything about that. I mean, I can eat well, I can drink lots of water, I can take my vitamins, but really it's up to the Lord, and his hands are on the baby, my son. One thing I want to talk about is like your mental state during the first trimester. I was really grateful, and I think maybe I talked about this in a past video, just like how far I've come with the Lord in my mental health, because it does take a lot of mental strength to push through the pain and like the suffering of the first few weeks of your first trimester. And I don't say that to scare anyone. Like, truly, I look back and like, I can barely remember the first 2 months of my pregnancy, because it just ended so fast, so abruptly for me, and now I'm just feeling so much better. And so I was able to push through that mentally. But I just would encourage you all, like, if you are in your first trimester, or when you get to that place in your life, like, really be leaning on the Lord, leaning on your husband, leaning on the people around you, and being okay. I think that was one thing I had to take pressure off of me, of like, I hadn't been able to clean the house in weeks. I hadn't made our bed once. I was in pretty much the same outfit every day for weeks, or similar outfits. I wasn't able to cook dinner for us or whatever, and like, I just felt, I started to feel very guilty because Paul was doing so much for us and for me, and I just had to let go of that very quickly, and just recognize, like, this is just a season, and it's a short season, and like, this is part of marriage. There are times when Paul has been ill or had issues with his back, where I've had to pick up the things that he was unable to do, and it's just kind of give and take. And so taking that pressure off of yourself to like be your normal self, because you're not your normal self right now. You're going through a very incredible thing. That's another thing. Like, remember that this is very purposeful pain. There's a human life growing within you, and it's incredible. And so just remembering that, I think, really helped my mental state. I think that is all I have for you guys for this first trimester recap. It was a rough first trimester, but ended sooner than I thought. Honestly, like, the fact that my trimester ended, or the fact that my nausea started lifting around 10 weeks, like 10 and a half weeks, whatever, I was just like, hallelujah. So that was really nice. And now we're in second trimester, and I'm just like, wow, this is going so fast. God, this is crazy. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I'm gonna shout it out right now. Follow me at Morgan Olligus, because up until Luca, baby Luca, is born, I'm going to be doing 2 giveaways a month from like things that are on my baby registry, whether it's basics, toys, books, whatever. I'm going to be picking one of you all twice a month to win this little fun giveaway. We did one recently and gave away these like rainbow toy things that are just so fun and cool, that I had on my registry. And it's just a way for me to give back to you all who are pregnant right now, already have kids, planning on getting pregnant, have a friend who's pregnant, whatever. It's a small way for me to give back to you guys, and to just thank you all who have purchased things off of my baby registry and blessed baby Luca and me and Paul in that way. Like, we're just blown away by your all's generosity and kindness and love and support. It's amazing. You guys are amazing. For those of you who are currently pregnant or have been pregnant, comment below and let me know what was the craziest thing you went through in your first trimester. And for those of you who are not pregnant, comment below and let me know if anything I shared surprised you. Alright. Bye, you guys. Love you all. Have a great rest of your day. Remember that Jesus is the answer. Bye.